As most of you know, my father was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, kidney cancer, and I clearly recall when he sat me down and told me that he had 6 months to live, which was devastating at the time. Thankfully, we had over a decade with my father after that moment in time.
Barry Hoban was, the driving force behind this, and he was such an inspirational figure. And you saw him and what he went through and how hard he fought, not only for himself, but for other people, that it just inspired me and many, many other people to get involved with Kure It.
His perseverance through the whole thing and finding the right doctors on his own, doing the research, realizing how difficult it was to do this on his own, and really him having compassion for people and saying, hey, I'm going to do something about it.
We developed this amazing relationship that was both me serving as his physician and also his kidney cancer advisor.
When my dad founded Kure It, it was almost too late for him, but he wanted to at least start something that would better someone else's life.
Barry didn't need to do this. These kind of activities take a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of resources.
In the midst of his own fight, he tried to do even more for other people.
And what Barry started is just the beginning.
The hardest part for investigators, whether it's in the laboratory or in the clinic, are to obtain what's called preliminary data that supports the application for large dollar amount funding. And the federal government tends not to fund those high-risk, high-reward studies, and Kure It fills a gap that can then be rewarded by larger grants.
Kure It's like a venture capital fund, if you will, for those people that fit into that category that don't get the big money from the big institutions that are out there.
It's not just raising money for cancer research, it's raising money for those cancers that are underfunded, folks who aren't going to have an opportunity to look for a cure anywhere else.
Those who are recently diagnosed are lost and don't know where to turn, and Kure It's been a great resource to help those people.
I've got a great affinity for Kure It and Rivals United and what we do out there in the community because it can have an immediate impact on a person's life.
Well, we've been really successful with a program called Roundup for Research. All of our rates at the U.S. Storage Center's facilities, they all end in 50 cents. And we've talked to the customers about rounding up that rent. And that extra 50 cents you're paying will go to Kure It every month. And it sounds like a little bit, but we've got 60,000 tenants at U.S. Storage Center, so as many of them we can get on that program, the more successful that program is and has become.
Charity Storage is the sister charity of Kure It Cancer Research, both founded by Barry, and we're both raising funds and awareness for a cancer research project for his legacy.
For us, it's really a labor of love and really inspire us, and that is what motivates us.
Well, years ago, Paul McDonald called me, and he said he had a new project called Rivals United, and he was going to raise money for cancer research using the UCLA-USC rivalry. And I said, listen, if you guys are going to raise funds for a nonprofit, you have to get my wife involved and her Elite OC Productions team.
And the greatest thing about the whole thing was having the two rivalries, USC and UCLA, coming together to raise funds for an underfunded cancer research.
And we created the Red Carpet Premiere Gala, and we raised a lot of money that night for Kure It, and Rivals was born.
The energy that is involved in the rivalry, to put that kind of energy into something that's good versus the negative energy, was interesting to me, and it continues to be.
There was something about Barry's vision, trying to raise money for two great universities to help in the fight on orphan cancers. It appealed to us, and it appealed to, I think, the community here in LA. So City National, we were really excited about jumping on board.
What I really love about this is you don't have to be a supporter of one team or the other to be involved in this organization. It's about raising money for cancer.
I became involved with Kure It shortly after my dearest friend Tom Perry passed away. And Todd Perry asked if we could do a roping in honor of his dad. And I think we've raised close to $200,000 as a group.
I know what we went through as a family, and obviously my kids miss their mom, I miss my wife, and I just remember how she fought the fight gallantly, but it ultimately took her life. And we just feel like we should do something, whether it should be through funding or other means, to heighten awareness and make sure that the research is being done so that they can find a cure.
After Barry's passing, there was a little bit of a pause, and I was approached and asked to help create a new legacy for Rivals United. And we came up with an idea called the Rivals Cup. We had our inaugural event this year at Pelican Hill Golf Course, and it went off very, very well. We raised a lot of money, exceeded our expectations.
So this year being the 10th anniversary, it's a big year. It's 10 years of success with the organization.
So U.S. Storage Centers and Westport Properties is willing to match up to $500,000 if you guys are successful in raising $1 million.
We're hoping to get everybody on board and really push forward so that we can meet this goal for Barry.
So we're really excited for this monumental milestone.
The strides that we've made over decades in cancer research and the results for patients has been just spectacular, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
Everybody knows somebody has either had cancer or knows somebody with cancer. It's definitely far more prevalent than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and we need to find a cure.
I think true to the core is just good people trying to find a cure for cancer, and there's no better charity than that.
That's why we're still looking for great people, great organizations, great leaders to be a part of this so that we can push Kure It further and further along.
Because there are hundreds of underfunded cancers that are out there that need help, that need our help.
You kind of look at day-to-day life and you say, gee, you know, what's really important? And this is what's really important.